My name is Eldridge and I drive a 2018 BMW 440i. What got me into cars was, according to my mom, she said I started around the age of 4 or 5. And then later on, as I got older, my brother was a big influence. He actually started taking me around car events, and along with meeting some friends in middle school, we used to sit around, talk about cars that we were gonna get, looking through the import tuner magazines. And then from there, it just kind of started growing. And next thing you know, here I am with the BMW, which is not even a Japanese car. So I decided to go with the 440 just because I actually previously had a F80 M3 right before this car. I wanted to build something different, something to challenge myself, because I was going to shows and I was seeing a lot of the F80s, M3s looking very similar, and I wanted to do something different. Even though the car still looks like an M4, there's little differences that are different that if you actually pay attention to the small details, you'll be able to pick them out. The reason why I bought a 440 after a M3, it is a question I get a lot. And to a lot of people, it doesn't make sense. But the color itself, the manual transmission, we know manuals are actually a dying breed these days. And the fact that I could take a car that's a unique color that you don't really see it too much with a manual transmission, to me, it just seemed like the perfect project to start with and just kind of build upon it to make something unique that I could take to events and have people actually see something out of the normal bolt-ons that you would normally see with, most BMWs. So with the quarter panels, what makes it different than the factory M4 is that these will actually resemble the F80. So if you go back and look at the E46 and the E92 M3s, they had an arch going on the quarter panel. And that's one of the things that I felt like the M4 missed. So the reason I decided to go with that is I ended up finding a company in Germany who was actually selling fender flares for F30, which surprisingly they line up with the bumper, so they just required a little bit of modification to get them on there molded right. And it was just a process of making sure that they're on there secure, doing the process, the whole molding process, and just blending it into the car. And a lot of people still don't realize it up until I actually point it, and you have to get at certain angles to really see it. But once you get at the right angle, you can really see the big difference. So this car has a little bit of JDM influence in it, if you guys notice. I mean, it's not much, but it has the TE37s, which you guys normally see on a lot of Japanese cars. It has the lap-there lid, which is made in Japan by a company made in Japan, but this one is actually made by Souvenir. So they actually ended up selling the same design. Also, the floor mats that I have in the car, they resemble the Japanese styling. So a little touches of Japanese are still going in here, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to build something different. I felt like with the 440, I had the freedom to do whatever and not be judged as much as taking the F82 M4 and doing all this. But I mean, Japanese wheels are becoming a thing for a lot of BMWs, and I really like seeing it. So I definitely have to thank a lot of my sponsors. Souvenir has been a big part of all my BMW projects. And also Haus Motorsports, Turner Motorsports, and ECS Tuning have been a big part recently. And if it wasn't for them, honestly, a lot of this probably wouldn't have been possible. So, I want to give a shout out to them, and also any future companies that I might end up working with. And also, I'd say my family for putting up with my nonsense. They know I love it. Same thing with a lot of people. You have those family members that they hate you spending money onto it, but hey, if it brings you happiness, you know, it's definitely worth it.